The Bible is written in parables. What is a parable? A parable is something to be interpreted. It's very similar to poetry. A parable is something that is not directly literal. They use a lot of euphemisms and similes and metaphors. For example, with what I had quoted, it was about, the gnashing and the rolling of teeth and being consumed in fire and things like that. Now, on the side note, if you go through my post, you will see that, yeah, Gaia had Mother Earth. To go, she's getting pissed off. She's getting pissed the fuck off. Because what people don't realize is that energy has to go somewhere. It has to go somewhere. So all of that negativity and things like that that's not being transmuted, that's not being healed, that's not being, transformed into something else, it has to go somewhere. The earth is absorbing that. And Gaia also can tell and feel the things that are taking place in the world. Therefore, the fires come about, therefore changes of global warming. Yes, we do have a part in that too, but also the earth responds as well, just as it has been doing. That energy has to go somewhere. That greed, just to for money and power and all of that, it goes somewhere. Whether that's in the form of a company, like, okay, you know what, forget being environmentally friendly. Yeah, here, do this, and boom, there you go. Weaken ozone layer. Okay, now going back to the Bible. Look, I just go with the flow. What comes out, comes out. It's parables. When people are consumed by fire, if you think about it within a tarot form, and the meanings of the wands. Wands is fire. That's passion, that's energy, that's motivation, that's perseverance, even a form of strength. That is part of the suit of wands. All of that is encompassed in that. Also, with that being said, since everything is encompassed in the suit of wands and that relating to the fire, their passions and things like that, and the nailing and the rashing of the teeth, their passions are the wand suit, the entire suit in reverse. It's people using that for manipulation, for scheming and scamming and getting over on people, for control, for power in an unhealthy way, by blocking people's free will and just doing the shit they ain't got no damn business doing. The gnashing and the welling of teeth. Even when you say, throw in the pit of hell, there is hell on earth. Hell on earth is shit. We've all experienced a little piece of hell on earth. This when shit is just chaotic as hell. And you're like, what the fuck is really going on here? There's still parables. For the gnashing and the welling of teeth, that means these people are going to start fighting amongst themselves. They're going to start telling on each other. Some of them are kind of going to realize the light and go, oh shit, what the fuck did we just do? And they're going to have a coming to Jesus moment. Thank God. And hopefully they don't backpedal. But for those that don't, they're going to start fighting amongst themselves. There are parables. So a lot of times I will quote, Bible scripture and things like that, because that's what I'm being told to do. Following, my path. Not everybody, does that. And I understand, because religion trauma is real. All that fear of, if you don't do this, you're going to hell. Because if you think about it, if the Bible was to be taken literal, it will be shit. It will be chaotic. We will all be screwed. we will all be screwed. And then on top of that, say, the second coming of Christ, if it was to be taken literal in the actual Christ coming back down, floating from Earth, the world is going to blow them out the damn sky with a damn nuke. Because they're going to be freaked the fuck out. Why? Because they're not going to understand. For all the people that's like, oh, no, yeah. No, let's be honest. You seen a guy floating from the damn sky, you want to freak the fuck out, regardless of what the hell it is that you believe in. Die hard, you going to hit your knees and start praying, go, oh, Lord. It's the light that's coming back. It's that energy. So when you're fighting, manipulation and narcissists and people that are actually, narcissistic personality disorder. There's a difference between between narcissistic tendencies, a narcissist, and narcissistic personality disorder. You need stuff like that. Whether it comes from wherever, Hinduism, Buddhism, old school ancestral beliefs. Think about all the religions in the world. There's still something there to combat some form of negativity. The things that's going to, cause chaos and imbalance and injustices in the world. Why? Because everything has a balance. Everything has an opposite. Everything does. So I was just called to share just this brief little snippet of the fact that stop taking these things literal. It's not that they're not important. It's not that they're meaningless. No, they're parables. They used language. They're stories. They used the language to be able to describe things at that certain time, date, and place. They used, the things that they were familiar with in that time, day, and place. Because I'm going to be honest. God ain't going to tell nobody to kill their brother. I'm sorry. Okay, no, I'm not sorry. That's not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. And okay, for it, let's benefit of the doubt. Let's say it did. That was then during that time and place. Like shit, you had King Hannibal that had the whole eye for an eye thing going on. You still okay? We chopping your hand off. Literally eye for an eye. That's literally where they came from, because someone had damaged someone's sight. They plucked the dude's eyes out, like eye for an eye. We're not living in those times no more. So it has evolved. Also, the language evolves. They call it the book of the living book. That means it can change, it can grow, it can adapt, and it can evolve, because things that stay stagnant are dead. They're dead. So there's nothing coming into it. There's nothing going out of it. It's just there. It doesn't mean that there's no energy around it. It's just it's stagnation. So by taking it literal, you're keeping people in a form of stagnation. Their lessons, their teachings. They're waking up. Their lessons, their teachings, their stories, to be able to help people and able to guide people, to assist people. Like, hey, just like when you're sharing a story of something that you've been through, or you come across a friend or a cousin or a random stranger, and you're able to help them out through your own personal experiences. It's the same way. I forgot the pastor's name. The pastor that he got exiled from his ordination, because he was like, we all embody Jesus, because we're able to heal each other. Yes, we are. We had that within us. We have that within us because everything comes from the Most High. So we have a slight aspect of the Most High, including, what He gave. We just have to embrace it and be able to use it and find our way to be able to use that in whatever manner that is. I got family and they could cook their ass off. I mean, the person is bad. I'm being respectful of their privacy. The person is bad in a good way, when it comes to cooking. And when they put in that joy and that and their purpose and that love and that's healing. People, it could be anything. It can literally be anybody and anything, and we all have those aspects. It's not to be taken literal. But does it keep energies back? Does it help? Yes, it does. It does. And like I said, especially for me, a lot of us did grow up with that foundation in some form of a more traditional belief system before we awaken to spirituality and like, wait, hold on, everything's connected and everybody's talking about the same thing. Because, that's what I've noticed when it comes to the different beliefs. It's all about just living better, helping people, being able to transmute and remove negativity and bullshit and nonsense and all that other shit that we just don't need. That's really just unnecessary. Interfering with people's free will and all of that. No, no, no. That's what it's for.